Hello everybody, this is Richard from Poor Man's Guides. I wanted to talk about my DC Motor Analyzer updates. I'll make this real quick, but basically at the top you see I've got a load button, motor 1, motor 2, motor 3, and a save. And this is pretty intuitively obvious. Basically it means you can have 3 different configurations that you can save. If you notice here it says blade diameter in feet. I've added a new feature for halt and vault, the option basically to switch between a horizontal axis and a vertical axis. If I switch to vertical axis, then notice the blade diameter turns into blade height and width. And of course you see the picture in the background change here. So just by selecting halt or vault, it lets you know what mode you're in so you don't make a mistake. And basically, let's say I load motor 1. It's a halt, and you can see it starts charging at 8.3 miles an hour. The efficiency is set to 15% in this example, and I wanted to talk about that. Basically, let's say it's 30% efficient, the blades are. Let's say your motor is 50% efficient. A lot of DC motors are 50 to 65%. So let's go ahead, so basically I cut this in half down to 15%. And this gives me an almost real world. The only thing I'm leaving off now is, this accounts for friction. This accounts for the motor losses. It doesn't account for wire length and voltage drop until you change this wire length from 0 to something else. Let's say it's 50 feet. Real world, that's 50 feet. I got 12 gauge wire. Oh, voltage drop too high. See, 50 feet at 12 gauge for this motor and this amperage is just too high. So let's go down to 10 gauge. And now what we have is 34.5% voltage drop, fairly high. But you may want to use that. If you get it 30, 40, 50% voltage drop, and it lets your max of the motor, which is right here in blue, it could be red depending on the situation, but if it's showing 675 watts and that happens at 36.2 miles an hour, maybe I want a virtual furling system instead of a real furling system. I want the windmill to be able to handle 35, 45, 55 miles an hour. I can do that with different mechanisms, and I've talked about that before. Basically, the plastic of the PVC pipe blades will bend. In fact, all small blades, flexible blades, will bend and change shape in the high wind. So your TSR changes, everything changes. So your blades may not reach max potential. Maybe it's really 45 or 50, depending on the flexibility of the blades. And of course, you don't want them flexing too much. They'll hit the tower, break, and that's not good. So you got to leave yourself enough room for flex. Anyway, so you can use that, like right now, if I change this to, let's say, 11 gauge. Now I'm at 43.5. Let's say I go 12 gauge, and it puts me over the limit, but let's say I go 45 feet. And now I'm at 49.3% voltage drop, 54.7 miles an hour. And it's actually more than that. More than likely it's more than that because the blades will flex. And not to mention, you can actually handle more than what the motor is rated for a few minutes before it burns out anyway. So you can probably handle easily 60, 65 miles an hour without much problem, and probably for a while. In fact, you could probably handle 65 miles an hour continuously all night on a windy night, like a storm, and wouldn't be a problem because the blades the TSR changes so much that it really wouldn't be spinning as fast as the computer world thinks it would be. Real world's always different than theoretical. So you can see you can use that to your advantage if you wanted to, or you could put a furling system on it and try to get everything as efficient as possible. Let's say you go back, you got your 50 feet, and let's say you use 8 gauge cable, make it 6, and that gives you 13.7% voltage drop. And yeah, see, that's more. And you could, if you try to furl in the 25 to 30 mile an hour range, and your max is 30.4, then you're good. Now let me show you here. You can take motor 2, load it. Notice it's a completely different setup. And it's set to 8% in this case. Motor 3. Set to 30%. Change, all this stuff. Anyway, hope this helps. You guys have a good day. Thanks.